Welcome back to the shop. Today I'm going to start working on my friend's coconut hole maker. 357 Baghdad called it a coconut lobotomizer, which is probably the best name I've heard yet. Quite accurate. Excuse me. So what I've got to do is a coconut. I wish I had a coconut right now to mock up in here, but I don't. Coconut's going to sit here. And what I think I'm going to do is use this like leather punch to core down into it with this lever action. But the issue is there's a hole here, and this doesn't really fit. But this will work nicely because it should eject the coconut shell or piece. So I just digging around in my scrap bucket or bolt bucket, and I found this. I think this is the bottom to some sort of IKEA furniture. God knows what kind of metal it is, but anyway, it seems to fit there nicely. And you know, serendipitously, I guess would be the term. This bolt fits perfectly right there. So I think if I weld the bolt in there and cut it off at just the right length, I'll be able to weld this into here, and then have a piece. This will be one piece that just screws in and out of here, and I think that would be pretty nice because you could take it out and wash it. So it's probably a bunch of downsides to this method, but you know, it might just work too. So we'll see what happens. Alright, so that's affixed in there pretty good. I think that's going to work nicely. Now, I'd like to have that fit in there pretty good too. So let's go work on that. I totally just forgot to record that. Overshot that a little bit, but yeah, it's alright. This is the first part I've made on this, so. I was gonna tap that, but I having trouble finding the half 13 tap, or the die, I should say. I've got everything else, but it's buried in here. Like I said, I've been rearranging the shop. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna weld that. We'll see how that goes. Alright, so I spent quite a bit of time monkeying around with this, and I've got some inclusions in the weld I had to cut out, and anyway, it's not perfect, but most of the stuff I do never is, so there's some little imperfections in there, but I think that doesn't look too bad. I think when I hit it with the wire brush and clean this up, this might look pretty respectable. So, and it should work. Alright, so that's the bolt that screws right into there, and then this threads right into that. So now I should be able to, you can see, zoom in. So now that I have this chucked into here, I should be able to, let me see if I can get you a better angle. So that should ratchet down, and then the coconut will go right here. I wish I had some sort of a proxy to put in here. Anyway, I am very confident that this is going to work. I think that's on there nice and sturdy. The next step is to go ahead and clean this up and get a coconut. So I'm going to go ahead and start cleaning this up. so there it is, sandblasted and wire wheeled. I'm going to take this out and paint it, bring you back in a day or two when I'm ready to maybe touch up the letters. I don't know what's next, but this project has sort of been on hold for a peculiar reason. I needed a coconut, and coconuts are ubiquitous in South Florida. However, all the ones that are easy, the low-hanging fruit, literally, are picked. So you had to usually get a saw or something and go pick them. Anyway, I had to run down to the supermarket and buy a couple coconuts. And these are great for mixing drinks with. Actually, a lot of the athletes these days prefer to drink coconut water because of the potassium that's in it. The potassium is something that helps mitigate against cramping and things like that. So anyway, there's a lot of potassium. If you get Charlie horses and stuff, this is sort of what you want to drink. But it also goes very well with scotch. So I'm not an athlete, but I do drink scotch from time to time. And if I wanted to get a friend of mine, she wanted to be able to cut coconuts open easily, or get the coconut juice out of their water, coconut water out easily. And I'm going to try to repurpose this tool. And this is apparently like a wine corker or a bottle capper. And I got this from the tractor show. I have some pictures before. And what I had done is I made this. This is a leather punching tool. And I welded it. And then I put it in the lathe and turned that weld down. And then this actually is like I think it's a 5/16 18 thread. Happened to fit into this fitting. I think this is off the bottom of some stand or whatever. But anyway, I just cobbled some stuff together. And it fits perfectly in here. Because that 5/16 18 bolt lines up perfectly in there. There's no room, no wiggle. You don't need a bolt or you don't need a wrench or anything. And it fits in there just like so. So what's going to happen now is I'm going to test this out and see how I can puncture a hole in this. And I've got two cameras going. So hopefully you can get this from two different angles. And we'll see how this works out. Alright, I think I've got everything out of this coconut, but that went horribly slow. That was just, it sort of gouged a deep hole in here, which sort of tells me that the fibrous nature of this is going to make this more difficult to cut than I had anticipated. But I think just my lack of knowledge about the anatomy of a coconut might come into play here. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut this coconut open and sort of examine my hole on the inside and see how this is laid out on the inside. So we'll see how this thing looks, and this is going to be a mess on my workbench. Alright, so we can see that the way that my tool worked, it just sort of opened up a gaping hole in there. For those of you that don't know, this is the jelly on the inside of coconut. That's also edible too, that's good. But anyway, I'm thinking that the hole looks pretty uniform all the way through here, but maybe I can push through the top and it might act a little differently. One way to find out. Alright, so here we are. I'm going to go straight through the top of this puppy. Drive it all the way down. Alright, so that's it. 2 coconuts equals 1 quart, 1 pint? I don't know what this is. This is 1 pint of coconut water from 2 coconuts. So anyway, this works. It's not... I think the key to this is it works just fine. You just have to open the hole up a little bit because it sort of presses the fibers out of the way. And short of devising a tool that just simply cuts the coconut open, I think this works pretty good. So anyway, that's the coconut lobotomizer, 357 Magdad. Thanks for that name. I think that's a good one. Anyway, I'm going to wipe it down, clean it up, and then bring it to my friend tomorrow, and hopefully this will keep her from cutting her finger off. Anyway, so that's the coconut lobotomizer. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and I hope you all have a great Thanksgiving.